You can't use your hand either.
Right.
Nothing.
In which case, yeah.
The longer you keep it in, the better you become in a fight.
Okay. All right. With that said, we're going to reel off some names now. And Chris Eubank Jr., can you tell us how long you'd abstain for? You've said in the build-up to this that you don't hate Conor Benn and that you don't even dislike him and that you feel indifferent to him. But what about Conor Benn do you dislike the most? There's got to be something. There's got to be something fueling you to punch him in the face.
What do I dislike about him the most? I genuinely can't say there's anything. You know, because of him, I'm gonna be getting millions and millions of pounds.
Mm.
You know, so without Conor, that payday isn't there.
Yeah, but you can make that through poker anyway, can't you?
Well, you know, if I improve, if I stop bluffing so much, maybe. But so when you look at it from a business perspective, what can I really hate or dislike about him? You know, he hasn't said anything for me. You know, he hasn't disrespected me, really. I mean, you know, he said a few little things, but nothing compared to what's been said about me in the past by other fighters.
Mm.
You know, we are together. We are creating something that is very special, and you know, he's taking a shot at greatness, which I respect. He says I'm delusional, and he says he's going to knock me out. He says he's going to be the first one to knock me out in my career. He says I've got a big ego and I'm overrated. But that, even listening to all of that, I don't dislike him. I'm not gonna give him that power over me, that emotion. I don't like this guy. You know, I like to keep my emotions out of boxing as much as possible. I found out the hard way that, you know, when you mix your emotions with a fight, you make mistakes. I do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If I really don't like somebody, you know, I do certain things in a fight which I'm not supposed to do. You know, I did it against James DeGale at the O2 a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really didn't like James. You know, we'd had like a beef for years and years and years. And it was a huge fight. And, you know, I battered him the whole fight. And then towards the end of the fight, my dislike of him, I picked him up and I gave him a spine buster. I did a WWE body slam on him in the middle of the ring.
Right.
Just because I didn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was a huge mistake because, you know, I'd already won the fight. But if he would have stayed down, if he had said, "Oh, I can't go on anymore," after me slanging him to the ground, I lose.
Mm-hmm.
I get disqualified.
Mm-hmm.
How stupid would I have felt? You know, and that's all emotion.
Mm.
Thank God, you know, his pride forced him to get back up and keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But if he was a snake, if he was sneaky, if he was dishonorable, he could have laid on the ground. Oh, my back.
Yeah.
I can't go on. And then I lose. So, yeah, emotions, dislike, hate, anger, all of that, for me, it ruins my performances. I need to stay neutral. Even if I dislike you, you're okay. You're okay. As long as I beat you, you're just a guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're just a guy that's in front of me. You're just a guy that's trying to win like I am.
Do you reckon you actually quite like him?
I wouldn't go that far. You know, I've said I'm neutral. I'm indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to fight. We are going to hurt each other for as many rounds as we can go. So, you know, you can't like somebody that you're going to be put into that situation with. But you also don't have to hate them or have them anger you, infuriate you. And that's where I've got him to, I think. With the press conference, with the face-to-face, I was able to push his big red buttons and he's very angry and he's upset, and he wants to prove me wrong. He wants to prove that I am not what I say I am, and that I shouldn't be taking him lightly, which I am, and that he is this dangerous guy that's going to hurt me, and I'm not giving him the respect that he thinks he deserves.
I think that shone through in a comment you made in the face-to-face about abstaining from sex. One of our favourite lines, wasn't it, Alfie?
I loved it.
And ask the question that you had, Alf, because it was a good one about the 8 weeks.
You said you gave Canelo 8 weeks of abstaining from sex.
Canelo and Golovkin would get 8 weeks, correct.
And then the tear down was 4 weeks?
4 weeks for a fighter called Billy Joe Saunders, who I do dislike. There are very few people on the planet that I can say that I genuinely dislike. Maybe even hate.
Wow.
I really don't like this guy.
Okay.
Right.
He disgusts me.
Okay.
And I don't feel that way about anybody, but him,
Yeah.
he has a special place in my heart. And when we do fight, I'm just not going to be able to control what I do to him.
Yeah.
And I just can't.
Okay.
That is a weakness I've had. He has me on that.
Right.
And it's fair play to him. He's gotten me to that point.
Spinebuster inbound then.
I don't know. I'm not even going to say the things that I would like to do to this guy.
Okay. So that's 4 weeks without sex for Billy Joe.
He would still only get 4 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
And Ben's getting 2 weeks?
Conor Benn gets 2 weeks.
And you said Jake Paul would get 1 week.
Absolutely.
So 1 week. So he's half as good as Ben then.
Yeah. Jake Paul's half as good as Conor
I
Benn.
respect his ability half as much as I respect Conor's.
Okay.
Well, that's a bit of an insult to Conor, that, isn't it? Saying all you are is 2 Jake Pauls.
Well, Jake Paul, he's 190 pounds. It's not that disrespectful.
Yeah.
Well, how about we play a quick game where we throw some names at you and you tell us how long you'd abstain for?
Sure.
Why do fighters abstain?
So this is not a science that's been proven. It's actually, apparently it's been shown that it doesn't work. But, I've had sex before fights, before spars, and spars are fights, and I felt my strength, my energy levels, my stamina, and I felt, how different they were compared to going in and fighting or sparring, after not having sex or, anything like that for 2 weeks. And there's a big difference in my opinion. It's not a mental thing. It is physical for me. Some fighters say that they do it the night before. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, the longer you abstain, you build strength, you build testosterone, energy, stamina, reaction time. Everything is just week by week. It just builds and builds and builds. Not by huge percentages, but every percent that's going to help.
My levels must be through the fucking roof then, because it's been ages. So
You've got a chance.
but sex, it's not just sex. It's, you can't use your hand either.
Right. In which case, I'm fucked.
By yourself.
You have to keep it in. You have to withhold.
Right.
The longer you keep it in, the better you become in a fight.
Okay. All right. With that said, we're going to reel off some names now. And Chris Eubank Jr., can you tell us how long you'd abstain for? Right. Some of them we've already mentioned, but we'll do it for the sake of the game. So who should we start off with?
So Jake Paul was 1 week?
Yes. 7 days.
Canelo
gets 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
Respect. He's done a lot. He's a great fighter.
Let's go Jake Paul's older brother, Logan Paul.
Logan, 4 or 5 days.
Okay, KSI?
Yeah.
KSI is my buddy. I don't want to put his name out there like that.
No? You sure you won't give us an answer?
Yeah, listen, I don't need to do that.
Golovkin?
Golovkin gets 8 weeks. He is a world champion at middleweight, and he's a dangerous fighter.
Okay.
Carl Froch.
Well, he's retired. He has
In his prime.
a prime Carl Froch. Man, I don't know. Yeah, give him 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks.
A lot of respect here. I
Yeah.
like it.
I
What about
respect Carl.
Kell Brook?
Kel, yeah, 2.5.
Days or weeks?
No,
Hours.
listen, he just battered Amir Khan. He's you know,
Yeah.
he's got it in him.
Mhm.
Two more.
He gets a couple more days than Ben gets.
Nigel Benn.
Nigel Benn, what now?
In his prime.
Nigel Benn in his prime gets 8 weeks. Absolutely,
yeah.
He was a bad boy.
I want to do one that maybe will be less than Logan. So we'll go us three at the same time, VSU in the ring.
An hour before.
Yeah, I mean, no, you get at least maybe half a day
Wow.
Wow.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's more than I thought.
because it's 3 guys. So I've got to have the energy to go from one to the other. Just that's
I think you could be doing it during and you'd still beat us.
you're probably right.
The ring walk.